Hey Freebs Nation, it's Jordan Page from FunCheaperFree.com and BudgetBootcamp.com. Today's the day. Today's the day. I'm finally gonna do it. I'm finally gonna share with you my best tips, tricks, hacks, and complete insider secrets for cheap travel that anyone can afford. Even you. That's right, you right there. It's true. If you guys have followed me for the last couple of years, you have seen that we have been on some really fun travel adventures. We've done road trips, we've traveled stateside, we've visited family, and we've also done cruises. We've gone to Europe, we've gone to Thailand, we've traveled with friends, we've done a lot of travel. And I'm sure you watch those videos thinking, dang, Gina, how does that girl afford all that travel? Well, guess what? I'm gonna tell you that it does not take a big budget to travel, even internationally. I promise. Today, I'm gonna give you all my best tips and tricks, and I'm gonna prove that whatever budget you have right now is enough. You just gotta be smart about it. Enough chit chat, let's get to the tips, okay? Let's do it. When I think about travel, I really kind of classify it in my head as 3 different types of travel. There's the road trip travel, which is basically wherever you can get in a car. Sometimes it's only 30 or 60 minutes away. Sometimes it's a couple states away. But there's road trip travel in a car. There's stateside travel, which you hop on a plane and you visit other places within your country. And then lastly, there's international travel, where you hop on a plane or a boat and you go visit a country other than the one you live in. I'm gonna kind of classify my tips today based on those 3 types of travel. And I want you to know that you do not have to be rich nor famous to travel in any of those 3 capacities. Let's quickly talk about road trip tips. This is such a great way to start traveling, especially as a family. A lot of people think that they can't do road trips because maybe their car isn't big enough or isn't reliable enough to last for several hours or several days in a car. Well, what you may not have considered is you can rent a car. And sometimes it may even be cheaper in the long haul to rent a car to do a road trip instead of using your own or buying a new car that's suitable for road trips. All the same websites that you use to book cheap travel, like Booking.com, Travelocity, Kayak, all of those, they have good deals on hotels, but they also have good deals on rental cars. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, you don't have to buy an RV or own a camper to do a great camping or long-term road trip. You can rent one and you can even share one. There are such things as RV shares, where kind of like a timeshare, you have part ownership in a camper or RV. So don't feel like you have to go out and spend tons of money, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars on a nice RV to do an RV trip. Rent one for a week or consider sharing one. Now, with road trips, it'd be great if you could stop along the way and stay with friends or family, but a lot of times you end up needing to book a hotel. So let's talk about booking cheap hotels. We usually start with just Google. We will specifically Google cheap hotels in Park City or Albuquerque or Anaheim or New York, wherever we are. And Google does a good job of searching all of those websites that have good deals like Priceline and Kayak and Travelocity. But my tip for you is don't be fooled by the initial price. Sometimes it's tempting to just click on the hotel that has the lowest price, but in fine print, it will show you the hotels that have the best all-in price. Because maybe there's a hotel that's only $88 a night, but then they have a $30 parking fee. They have a $20 per room hotel fee. With all these taxes and fees, it ends up being quite a bit more expensive. So be sure to click all the way through, look at the final cost per night before deciding if it really is the cheapest hotel or not. We always try to find a hotel that offers free breakfast, even if it's several miles out of the way. This may not seem like a big deal to you, but I promise it is, especially for a family like mine. We've got 7 people in our family. If we go out to a restaurant for breakfast, even if it's a cheap restaurant, we can't walk away spending less than like $40, oftentimes more. So if there's a hotel that offers a breakfast, even if it's a pretty basic continental breakfast, it saves us so much money and gives us enough food to tide us over for the next meal and put that money towards other parts of our trip. And here's the thing, anytime you shop online, so for a hotel or a rental car or even luggage or clothing that you need for your trip, oh you guys, please use Ebates. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about it. I've been talking about Ebates for years because I'm a super fan, but I just have to drill this into your head. Ebates is free. It is free, so if you're not using it, you are literally giving up free money. So if you don't know, Ebates is the largest cashback site. So what they do is they partner with stores and websites and retailers, over 2,000 of them, by the way, so pretty much everybody. And they give you cash back for the stuff you're shopping for anyway. So of course they've got the retail stores like Kohl's and Macy's, even Sam's Club, Walmart, Groupon, but also, did you know that they travel with tons of travel sites like hotels.com, Expedia, and many more. So they give you coupons, they give you promo codes, and they're giving you cash back every time you buy something or book something through their website. No brainer. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can actually go to the Ebates website and click on the store, retailer, or website you want, shop through there. I like to download their browser extension and just always have it on my computer. So anytime I'm shopping online, it actually pops up and notifies me when I'm on a website that is partnered with Ebates. I click to activate it, and boom. If I buy or book, I get cash back for free. Did I mention that? Totally free, doesn't cost you anything. So Ebates is launching this new thing, so this is totally applicable to everybody watching. They now have Travel Thursdays. So on Thursdays, they give 10% cash back on hotel bookings made through Ebates Hotel. 10%, you guys, that's like $40 savings on a 3-night stay, or $70 cash back for a 5-night stay. That is a lot of money. Seriously, guys, I'm not kidding. You're crazy if you don't use this. You're just crazy. I'm gonna keep talking about it until you guys actually do it. Okay, so here's what you do. Go down into my description box, and the first link there is an Ebates link. Click on it, sign up, and then when you spend your first $25, you automatically get a $10 welcome bonus, again, for free. So easy. So please go do that right now. All right, so there you go. So use Ebates anytime you shop online. Now, another option is, like, for my family, we're a big family, and sometimes hotels aren't really the best option for whatever reason. So other things we like to use might be Airbnb or VRBO, which is Vacation Rental by Owner, also called Home Away. And what that is it means you're staying in someone's house or condo, which is nice because oftentimes that means there's a kitchen involved, which is great. So for us, if we're staying somewhere for 3 nights or more, or up to a week, we will oftentimes get a VRBO so we can have the whole house to ourselves, have a kitchen, sometimes even a yard or a pool, and it's much more comfortable for our size of family. We also love doing this when we're traveling with a group because we all want to stay in the same place and be up late at night playing games or whatever. So VRBO could be a really great option and will save you a lot of money, especially when splitting it. Just be aware that with VRBO, there's usually a cleaning fee involved and some taxes, so we definitely don't use it unless we're staying somewhere at least 3, 4 to 7 nights. Airbnb is, again, it's someone's home, but sometimes it's just 1 bedroom in their home, or maybe even a couch or a top bunk in their home. It's a really nice option for a short stay, maybe when you don't need an entire hotel room to yourself, or maybe when you do want a little more of a homey feel. So those are other options too. Okay, let's talk about the other 2 kinds of travel, which would be stateside travel and international travel, which would require flights. I have a lot of tips on booking cheap flights. So let's talk about booking flights. I've got a blog post, funcheaperfree.com/flights. I'll link it below. It has all of my best flight secrets. There are secrets for knowing when and how and where and why to buy certain flights and how to get them cheaper. I'll give you a few of my best tips here, and the best one I've got is, did you know that the best and cheapest time to buy a flight is 54 days before your trip? 54. It's true. So the folks over at Cheap Air, they did a study for 365 days, an entire year, and all of the flights that came through their website, which was like thousands, they tracked them, and they found that the cheapest time to book a flight pretty much to anywhere was 54 days before the trip. It's data, guys. Another thing you might not know is that you should always try to book your flights on a Tuesday whenever possible. The reason why is because most airlines will put their sales up on Tuesday, but then they'll take them down again on a Thursday because then it approaches the weekend and their prices go up. So if you can book it on a Tuesday, 54 days before the trip, boom, cash money. We like to just use Google Flights to get a good general idea on what flights will cost and what airlines are cheapest to fly the time of year and wherever we're going. It's a really cool feature. It's free, but you can kind of just like drag your mouse over a map and it'll pop up prices for flights and what time of year is cheapest to fly what places. So we start with Google Flights and kind of use that to give us a general idea of how much we would need to save up or plan for to fly where we want to go. But then aside from that, there are email lists that are so important. I cannot stress the email list thing enough. The hotels, the airlines, the places you want to travel to, get on their email list. Just open a new email account. It's totally free. Then it doesn't have to bother you any, but sign up for all the email lists because they'll send you sales and deals and discounts and rewards and different things that you really should take advantage of. One of my favorite cheap flight lists is Scott's Cheap flights. He does have paid options. I'm just on the free level, and every day, sometimes multiple times a day, he sends out an email with these crazy, insane low fares that he finds and sends them out. We're talking like $300 round trip to Europe, or like $200 to Hawaii. I mean, really, really, really affordable stuff. But let me interject real quick with a Mama J budgeting tip before I go any further with any of this, and that is, I'm sorry to tell you, but you are not allowed to travel until you have it completely saved up. Mama J says so. Think about this. When Scott's Cheap Travel or whatever it is sends you this crazy amazing deal on a flight, oftentimes you need to be able to buy it right then, because either it's going to sell out fast or the sale's going to end in a day or two. So please, if you want to travel, you need to start saving up now, and then once you have the money completely saved up, that's when you start looking for all the deals and sales. When traveling internationally, I recommend having at least $5,000 for the two of you. Stateside and road trips are a totally different story. Just do your research, do your math, and make sure you have the money saved up 100% before you even start looking. Use social media too. One of my favorite Instagram accounts to follow is called Flights From Home SLC, and the Salt Lake Airport is the one closest to me, and this is a local Instagrammer that basically every day posts crazy amazing flights that fly into or out of Salt Lake City. So search around on Instagram and Facebook and find those places that have good deals in your area. Another really interesting concept is one that I have not used, but I have friends who swear by it. There is an app called SkipLag. Let's say I want to book a flight to Chicago, but for whatever reason the flight from Salt Lake to Chicago is so expensive. So what SkipLag does, it helps you find a flight that you have a connection in Chicago, like you have a layover in Chicago, but technically the flight's supposed to take you on to New York or wherever else, but instead of continuing on the rest of your flight, you just hop off in Chicago, and it ends up being considerably cheaper than just flying straight to Chicago. But I will say this, I have not used this personally. I know people who have, but use with caution, because there are some airlines who do not love this. So just read the fine print, do it at your own risk, but flying indirectly through a company like SkipLag honestly can save you hundreds. When flying, if you can, be flexible with date and look at their low fare calendars. So for example, like on southwest.com, if you are booking specific dates, there's an option that says see our low fare calendar. It pulls up the entire calendar for the month and shows you what the flights would cost you for every day of the month. It's incredible. Sometimes if you just extend one day or go home one day earlier or leave one day earlier, it can save you so much money on flights and might be worth it. So if you have some flexibility, use that. Another thing that we like to do with flights is when we're in the airport and when we're checking in, we will go straight to the ticket counter and we will ask them if they need any volunteers to stay back. Again, you have to be a little flexible on this. If someone is expecting you at home during a certain time, you couldn't do this, but there have been many times where airlines overbook flights and they are happy to pay you or refund your entire flight if you are willing to stay back and catch another flight home. We have done this several times, and one time we only had to delay an hour and a half and we got a $600 ticket voucher to go anywhere in the world for an hour and a half. Okay, check at the ticket counter next time you fly. You've got some flexibility and see if you can stay back and get your ticket comped. Now, when it comes to transportation, whether it's stateside or international, I prefer Uber and Lyft before I even jump in a taxi. 100% of the time that I have ever used it, it has always been cheaper than taxis, and it's really convenient because wherever you are, you have a GPS tracker on your phone and they will come pick you up right where you're at instead of trying to fight the crowds and wave down a taxi. So for me, I definitely recommend Uber and Lyft, and the good news is they are all over the world, not just in the US. So let's talk about international travel for a second. One of the things that many people do not consider is using a travel agent. Here's an example. A few years ago, Bubba and I were headed out to Europe for the first time. We were traveling with our baby and we were headed to go visit a friend. So I thought, that's okay, between my friend and my research, even though I've never been to Europe, I'm sure it'll be fine and I'll be able to find the best deals and figure out what the heck I'm doing. No, I was so stressed out and I booked the whole trip, but then I felt like it was way more expensive than I thought. So as per the advice of a friend, I called a travel agent and said, hey, here's my trip. This is what I'm thinking. Can you do better? Within 15 minutes, she saved us $1,500 because travel agents, they don't cost you anything. You do not pay a travel agent, or you shouldn't have to pay a travel agent, but they have connections and they get kickbacks and they get paid from the hotels and these tours and people that they partner with. She booked everything I wanted. She didn't push me or pressure me to buy anything I didn't want to. She saved me money and she gave me this beautiful stapled package packet with all of my details, everything I needed. It was amazing. So consider using a travel agent when booking a trip, and they might do a better job at booking it than I did. Oh, actually, I will say the one time that you will pay a fee for a travel agent is when they book your flight, because they don't have any connections with airlines. They don't get any kickbacks or commissions. So I think for me, it was like $50 per flight for them to book my flights for me. But aside from that, should be completely free. Another alternative is to consider buying a package vacation. So if you love traveling and picking all the details and flying by the seat of your pants or backpacking or whatever it is, this wouldn't be an option for you. But for the rest of us who just want to get on a plane and show up in this awesome place and kind of just enjoy the experience and have someone who knows better than you plan everything for you, a package is the way to go, in my opinion. This is how we traveled to Italy. This is how we traveled to Thailand recently. And this is pretty much how we're gonna travel internationally for the rest of our lives. There are so many companies who do this. There's Groupon Travel, there's Gate One Travel, there's even Costco Travel. And basically what it is you're buying an entire package deal. It includes the flight, it includes transportation and hotels. It oftentimes includes a lot of meals, maybe even a tour guide and tours, all these different things for one package price. You might think it would cost you more, but actually it saved us a ton of money both on our Italy trip and our Thailand trip. For example, we just got back from Thailand a couple of weeks ago. It was 9 days and our package included flights, hotels, transportation, all of our breakfasts, several of our dinners, all of our entrances into places, taxes, fee, everything, $1,050 per person for 9 days in Thailand. I'm telling you, if you've got $1,000 sitting in a bank account somewhere, you can afford going to Thailand. That was through Gate One Travel, but like I said, there's so many other companies that do this. And be sure to go watch those Thailand travel vlogs and the Italy travel vlogs on my YouTube channel under my travel playlist, and you can get an idea of how much fun it is. And be sure to use Ebates, because again, like Groupon, for example, is partnered with Ebates. So not only do you get a good deal, but you also get cash back, which is awesome. One of our no-brainer, non-negotiables, but something that a lot of people don't do, is we travel off-season. First of all, we hate going peak season because we don't want to battle the crowds. We feel like everything's booked out. And also, peak season means peak pricing. So avoid the crowds, travel when it's way more affordable, and have an overall much more pleasant experience. Sure, you may need to pull your kids out of school or maybe get a little bit of time off work, but for us to save thousands of dollars and have a much more enjoyable experience, it's been worth it every single time. We love to travel in January and February, and then, like October, November. We just feel like in a lot of the places that we travel to, nobody else is there, even Disneyland. But with that, be sure to do the research, because other countries have different peak seasons. So just do your research before going and try to travel off season if you can. One of the ways that I save money on luggage and baggage when I'm flying is I like to bring 2 bags so that I have some room to do some nice, cheap, fun local shopping while I'm there. But I don't want to pay $50 per bag on the flights over. So what I'll do is I'll pack all my clothes into a medium-sized suitcase, put it inside a larger suitcase, and check 1 bag on the flight there. And then if I end up doing shopping and needing more space, I can easily take out the medium-sized bag and separate them, and then have 2 bags on the way home. Okay, and my very last tip is one that may be a little controversial, so will you let me know in the comments if you agree with this or disagree with this. But Bubba and I have done exhaustive research, and both of us say that we do not recommend credit cards that offer flight rewards. We definitely recommend credit cards that give cash rewards. There's a lot of reasons for this, but in most cases, the flight rewards don't equate to the same value as cash would. They have all these restrictions, they have all these blackout dates, you're forced to use a specific airline. But for us, like if we buy a package vacation to Thailand, it includes flights. So all of those credit card bonus points we've been saving up would be deemed completely useless. Whereas if you have cash rewards built up on your credit card, you can pull out that cash and use it for anything. When we went to Ireland, London, and Paris to visit our friends, I had $750 on my business credit card that I'd been saving up forever, cashed it out, and that was basically our entire food money for the whole trip. And really, it was just a bonus. Didn't come out of our bank account. So there you go, you guys. Those are some of my best tips. What are yours? Will you please share in the comments below? Because Bubba and I have definitely caught the travel bug. Now that we know that you can travel so affordably, road trip wise, stateside wise, or internationally, we plan to do it a lot more, and I hope you do too. Hopefully this inspired you to give it a try. Hopefully it gave you some tips to know that you don't have to be swimming in the cash to do it. If you like tip videos like this, will you please give me a thumbs up? Don't forget to subscribe. I've got new videos every Thursday, but I don't know if you've noticed, I have a lot of bonus videos that have been popping up. So hit that little bell notification thing so you're notified when new videos come up. Please don't forget to sign up for Ebates. You guys, it's free. It takes a second. Right now, as soon as you're done, go to the first link in my description box, sign up. You'll get a $10 bonus when you spend your first $25. Okay guys, now if you don't mind, I actually need to go unpack my suitcase from our last trip a couple of weeks ago. It's fine, it's fine. So I gotta let you go. Hope you have a good night. Get out there and do some traveling, okay? Love you guys, bye.